All right, I'm the Flat Rate Master. Today we're talking comebacks. Everybody has them. Don't let anybody say they don't. Anytime you see anybody say they never have comebacks, they're straight up full of it. I don't care who they are, they have comebacks. They may not have comebacks often. That's the key. Minimize your comebacks. You know, yep, I'm going to be the first to admit it. I have comebacks. I'm not going to lie. I mean, that's the thing, is you're going to have comebacks. You're going to have customers coming back complaining of, ever since you did this, it's doing that. Or, well, I just spent all this money to fix a check engine light and my check engine light's on. And unfortunately, it's something that is, no matter what, is going to be in this industry. You're going to have either legitimate comebacks where you fixed XYZ problem and it came back for XYZ problem. Let's say you fixed a lien code and it comes back with the same lien code. Well, that is a straight up comeback. You did not fix the vehicle. There's other types of comebacks where, you know, it's making the same noise it was making before, even though it wasn't. But the problem is you didn't fix all of the problems with that vehicle. So it's technically still a comeback. Then there's a check engine light where it's not the problem you fixed, but it's a comeback because the light's back on. And that's actually one of the worst comebacks ever, because it's hard to go back and explain to a customer it's on for a different reason. I don't care, you know, how good your service writer is, how good they are explaining, it's going to be an uphill fight because all they know is that light is on again. Perfect example today, Audi TT. Bam Bam is on vacation, so he wasn't here to take it, so I took it. He fixed a O2 sensor heater fault and a lien code. It came back. Those two codes are not there, but it had a air injection fault code. Well, in the mind of the customer, the light's back on. So you didn't fix anything. And unfortunately, that's one of the issues in this industry is you're going to have to deal with it. Now, I don't actually even know if the shop billed the customer or not. I took my hour diag, I fixed the car. No parts needed other than a couple of vacuum fittings and some hose because the supply line going to the combi valve solenoid broke. You know, old plastic on an Audi. You know, it happened. Understand that when you have comebacks, you're not alone. I don't care how much that service writer or the manager yells at you for a comeback. It happens. We're all human. We are all going to make mistakes here and there. We're all going to have situations where mentally, a noise complaint is, I'm sorry if you're really good at noise complaints, I'm personally not. I've damaged my hearing enough working with 1-inch impacts, 3/4 impacts, air hammers without hearing protection. Side note, wear hearing protection. That I'm not, and I've never been good at noise complaints regardless. I'm passable at them, but it's not my forte, if you will. And so when it comes to noise complaints, it's always a difficult job, regardless of how good you are, because the noise you hear that's standing out like a sore thumb might not be the noise the customer's complaining about. I will tell you a great story from many years ago. It was another Audi. Audi A4, I believe. Customer complaint was noise. and it was a noisy car. Typical for a B5, B5 and a half Passat chassis. Control arms were making noise. Well, that wasn't the fix for the customer. It still made the noise, and it was a very extremely difficult noise to pinpoint because, well, it was a loose bolt in the bumper bracket. That was her noise complaint. Not the control arms popping and, ball joints popping, any of that. No, it was a bolt that every now and then rattled. Other noise complaints that I can think of. Andrew, years ago, had I believe it was a Camry, but don't quote me on that, had a weird noise complaint, easily replicatable. You could easily replicate the noise. It was never a comeback because it never left until it was finally fixed, but he went on a complete wild goose chase with that car trying to find the noise because you could not duplicate it on the lift. It was a knocking noise. You'd hit a bump, it'd knock. You'd hit a bump, it'd knock. Over and over and over again on that car, trying to find that noise. It turned out to be an ambient air temp sensor swinging in the breeze. You'd hit a bump, it'd swing back and hit the bumper bracket and make a noise. Noise complaints are always the most difficult as far as comebacks because, well, the noise they're complaining about might not be a noise that we even hear because they're used to the popping ball joints, the creaking dash, the junk in the trunk. Side note on a noise complaint, I had a clanging noise customer complaint, and it was literally a bunch of jars in the trunk. Another fun story, had a thumping noise coming from the rear of the vehicle. No lie. I drove it, replicated the noise, pulled back in the shop, popped open the trunk. There's a bowling ball rolling around in the trunk. So, unfortunately, just remember, everybody has comebacks. Don't think you're alone. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master as a motorcycle goes by.